Hey everybody, this is RK from the Toy Tomb. This time we're going to be looking at the Atlantis model of Flash Gordon and the Martian, a reissue that Revell had put out in 1966, probably 1965. It says copyright 1965, but I think it finally came out in 66. Atlantis, of course, is the model company that has been doing UFO models and retro models from previous decades. They were the ones that did Victoria and his flying saucer, if you remember that from a previous video. In this one, this is credited as having two kits, well, two models. There's Flash and there's the Martian. And he's included, and he's got his own base, and we'll be looking into that. But I do like the painting on the cover. I do like the way Atlantis redistributes these models. We all know Flash Gordon. Everybody knows Flash Gordon. Created in the 30s. He was a King Features comic strip, kind of an answer to Buck Rogers. Terrific movie, real campy movie in the 70s with Sam Jones. And in the movie, he was a football player that was abducted by Dr. Zarkov to help save Earth from Ming and the planet Mongo. And what they were going to... So they go to planet Mongo with... You know, Arkov takes Flash and Dale Arden, and that's where it all starts. It's all portrayed in the movie, and Flash, well, he ended up, he saved every one of us. But let's look inside. Everything is bagged, really nice. He does wear a space helmet in this. It's clear. I'm going to keep it in a plastic bag so it doesn't get scratched. Everything is cast in white. This is supposed to be a very easy to assemble kit. It looks very easy. I'll be taking everything out of the bags and examining it. And since it was originally a Revell model, reproduction of the original sell sheet provided to hobby dealers. This is actually a nice insert that they gave us. It looks like it could even be framed and hung up. It's on glossy paper. It does have the original information. A 12-pack. This is how it was shipped to dealers. The kit was $1 each, and it kind of explains what the model's about. On the back are the original directions from the 1966 kit, and as you can see, it is very easy. It's a figure kit. Everything's in halves. Just glue it together. But what's interesting is there's a little bit of an introduction here about Flash Gordon fighting interplanetary villains and exploring the far reaches of space, and our everyday chores for Flash Gordon, spaceman of the future. Now remember, this was 1966, so again, they were drawing him sort of in an updated astronaut's spacesuit from time to time, instead of the 1930s red, blue, yellow uniform that was popular in the comics. So if you look down below, it says, but today these daring space exploits are becoming reality, as astronauts have been circling the Earth in space capsules and scientists and have been developing space exploration equipment. Perhaps as you put your miniature replica of Flash Gordon together, there is a scientist somewhere developing plans for the spaceship that may rocket you through space to be the first man to set foot on Mars. Maybe, or maybe that kid will just grow up to be a guy who collects old models, puts them together, and makes videos for YouTube. So here are the trees all laid out, and you can see the parts. This is very simple looking. Everything's just been kind of cut in half. I guess that was the easiest way for them to inject it. There is a little browning here, probably from the heat from when they injection molded this. But you can see, like, here's the back half of the Martian, and up here is the front half, and then there are three pieces here, a holster and two arm pieces that have fallen off the trees, which means that these are on here. These are going to come off very easily. This is really a nicely detailed model. It's a very nice model. There's Flash himself, which I got some trimming to do. What I'm noticing right off the bat, though, and something that I think I'm going to figure out what to do is that the base for this model is here for Flash Gordon, and there are his footprints, and so I guess he'll be standing somewhat like this or wherever. I'll figure it out. And then the Martian is smaller. He's smaller than Flash, so they made a base for him, and his base is separate, so it's not like Flash and the Martian are on the same base. In fact, it's a miniaturized base, so even the crater and the cracks are smaller. I'm not sure. I mean, it's like, is this a separate kit or what? I'm going to figure out a way to keep them both together. Kind of like the way they looked on the box top. I kind of like that it looks like all one base. And I know that there's a custom base out there that you can get with the tentacles coming out of the crater, and you can get, you know, the Martian half model popping out of the crater, and that's all great and everything, and you can find that video, and you can find them online, you can see all that, but I think I kind of want to figure out something on my own. This is the name tag here. It's upside down. Here we go. Flash Gordon. I kind of like the movie Flash Gordon lettering, so I may use this or I may make another one somehow. Finally, here's Flash all built, painted, put together, and standing on a custom 3D printed out base. I ended up getting the movie logo, extruding it, and scanning in the flat plastic base that came with the kit and just giving it some height, enough room for the title, and also giving it some weight. I found these bases that came with it, you know, the model could be a little top heavy. This model stands now with the base 10 inches tall, so it's about a 9-inch tall model. And you can see underneath that it was 3D printed and how I hollowed it out just to, you know, it didn't need all that plastic down there. I also ended up, because I did like those tentacles on the painting on the box, I ended up making a tentacle and 3D printing it out, and painting it, and sticking it on there. Now the Martian and Flash are together on one base. And like I said I was going to do, I didn't like the white spacesuit. I wanted to use his original colors, which were red, blue, yellow. I did find this to be a somewhat easy kit to build. The problem was that I made work for myself because I ended up painting all the details, the wires, the cables, the elbows, the shoulders. I just kind of wanted it to look more retro looking from the 30s with a 1960s spacesuit. I didn't want a white spacesuit. It was just kind of dull to me. So I did make a little bit more work for myself by painting it. I used acrylic for the head and I used enamel for the rest of it. I did use acrylic for the Martian as well. So I do kind of like the flat acrylic colors, you know, where I use them. The base, the title, nameplate there, the tentacle, the Martian, and Flash's head. But there he is from Atlantis Models, the original Revell model kit of Flash Gordon and the Martian. It's a fun kit to build, and if you're into figure models of Flash Gordon, I kind of recommend it. Hey, thanks for checking this out.
Oh boy! Yeah!
Hey, there's Hasbro! Hasbro makes toys! What's new, Hasbro?
Pretty sneaky, sis.
Remember, you can tell it's Mattel. It's...
Okay, let 'em go. Some of the great SSP racers for 72.
M-A-R-X spells Mark, world's largest toy maker.
Remember, Every boy wants a Remco toy, and so do girls. And remember, if it isn't Duncan, it isn't Yo-Yo.